Hello, and welcome to Trashy, Classy, and a Splash of Sassy, the podcast where we talk about business growth, the behind the scenes of the dumpster rental world without actually touching the trash. And I'm your host, Rebecca Smith. Today, we're talking to someone who's helped build ADR into the powerhouse company it is today, all while inspiring people to grow, lead, and work hard along the way. So, joining me is our COO, Matt O'Hara. He's our awesome COO here at ADR. He's definitely turned strategy, sales, and leadership into an art form from day one, all while keeping faith, mentorship, and hard work front and center. So he's made personal sacrifices, lifted others up, and knows how to make even the complicated side of the waste industry look simple. So Matt, let's talk trash.
Dang, great intro. I love that. With these backgrounds, I feel like I need on a white suit and hop out of the Ferrari Testarossa on South Beach, Don Johnson style.
I'll keep that in mind for your next recording. All right, let's talk trash. All right. So again, live from Miami. Miami lights. So Trashy, let's get into it. We are going to talk about ADR, kind of just like business model, kind of hidden value, things of that nature. So first and foremost, you have been here coming up on 15 years, right? 15 years.
15 years in June or July.
That's amazing. Congratulations on that. That's an amazing journey. I can imagine, when you were a kid, you didn't think, oh, I'm going to grow up and be the COO in the waste industry, right? So, just kind of the big overview, people may or may not underestimate the waste industry, dumpster rental industry. Where would you say that you see the biggest opportunity if you really understand the industry as a whole and how it works?
Wow, the biggest opportunity seeing the industry as a whole. Well, the good news is trash isn't going anywhere. So I think the biggest opportunity in any industry right now is to adopt technology fast. So we've always tried to be technology first, whether it be with our CRM or different bots that we're using to incorporate in everything we do. I think the faster we can do that, the biggest advantage we're going to have. But more than that, it's always the customer. Anytime we can put the customer first and the customer experience, that's always going to be our biggest opportunity because so many companies leave that behind.
Very true. Very true. And I remember that in sales, getting the feedback from customers where, you actually took your time with me and, spent that time and really heard me. So that stands out for sure. So when would you say it really clicked for you that it's not just the waste industry, we're actually in the business of solving problems at scale?
Before I really even started with ADR, so the first day I ever worked with ADR, the night before, I was talking with Gus just about different business strategies and ideas. And he told me, he was like, hey, I rent dumpsters in Tampa. I get these calls from other areas that I can't service. And I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, what do you do with those? And he's like, well, sometimes I hire other companies to do them. At this time, ADR was only in Tampa. And I was like, really? And he was like, well, here's the interesting thing. These other companies can actually deliver the dumpsters cheaper than I can when I own the trucks and the dumpsters. So I was like, okay, that's interesting. And so I was like, hey, I want to try that. And then Gus was like, when? And I said, tomorrow. But he was like, okay. So I showed up at his house the next day and Gus was like, hey, where do you think we should start? And I was like, I don't know, Atlanta. And he was like, why? I was like, it's a big city. It's in the South. I think it's a good focal point to where we'll go next. And so the next thing we did was pick up the phone and I started calling dumpster rental companies in Atlanta. And I have a sales background. That's where I kind of built my career. And that's why I knew we'd be a perfect match. But when I started calling some of these other companies, I realized they were really rough around the edges. They kept telling me a lot of no's, things I couldn't do, raising all these red flags, making it really hard to do business with them. And all I was trying to do is partner with them so we can give them a bunch of orders like we do with our haulers now. And I just remember getting off the phone with like the second, I called like two or three in a row. And it was my first, I say before ADR, but that would have been my first day. And I just remember telling Gus, like, hey, we're going to do way better than all these companies. And he's like, what do you mean? And I was like, their sales process, the things they're doing, there's no way they're going to be able to match us if we put everything into it. And that it was right. We just put
Wow.
everything into sales and with our customer and the customer experience and nobody was able to match it, especially earlier on. I think people started to catch up. I think over
Hmm.
the years, Rebecca, as you know, a lot of people have
Hmm.
taken a lot of what we've incorporated and they have adopted it. So
Hmm.
they're starting to catch up, but I think that's why it's always important to continue to push the envelope with the customers and do the best we
Hmm.
can to service every customer with the best experience.
For sure. Stay ahead and stand out.
Yeah,
Definitely.
absolutely.
That's incredible. So it clicked for you before you even started, where most people, I feel like it clicks, a few months in at least. So
Yeah,
that's impressive. Good. You saw it and believed in it. And I know you still are a big believer of the vision and the bigger vision and help
yeah,
create it. And I'm sure it'll all happen because of that. So
yeah,
that's awesome.
absolutely.
Um, so speaking of, I guess, the five-star experience and differentiating from other haulers, what's something you would say that we do behind the scenes that would make a huge difference for the customers that they might not even ever realize?
I think big differences come in little things. I've always been a big believer that there are no little things. So what we try to do and what we try to focus on is nailing all the little things. I think if we can nail all the little things every day, that's where big things happen. So people
Mhm.
see big things like, hey, ADR is this big company and they got all these things going on. Like we didn't really have any big moments. We just had um, lots of moments of daily and hourly and minute by minute consistency of just consistently doing the right thing. Um, and I think that when you do that, when you consistently do the right thing over and over, and you are meticulous about the job that you have in front of you right now, and like I always say, this brick that's in front of you, you make it the best brick in the world.
Mhm.
Just one brick, just focus on the one thing that's in front of you right now. If we all continue to do that, everything's going to take care of itself from the customer to our haulers to
Mhm.
us. Everything will take care of itself if we just this brick that's in front of us right now, just make sure it's laid the best that we can, and
Mhm.
that'll that takes care of everything else.
Keep building. I know. I love
Keep
all of
building.
our slogans and things, or I don't know,
Yeah,
we continuously focus on the 1% better, brick by
yeah,
brick we're going to continue to
yeah,
build it, and that's very true. A lot of what might seem small moments add up and have
yeah.
gotten
Because if
us
you
where
look at building a wall,
we are. Hmm.
it seems almost impossible, especially if it's a big wall or a big fortress. But if
Right.
you just focus on that one brick,
Yes, we'll get there
yeah,
before
you
you
get
know it.
absolutely.
Good stuff. So you were very knowledgeable on the industry, on the processes, on our business. What's something that you feel you're still figuring out in this business that people might assume you already have mastered?
Everything.
Mhm.
Just when I think I've got everything down, there's another curveball.
Mhm.
Business in general is hard, but it's rewarding. I love it. Um, the best way I can describe it, it's kind of like going from, um, I'm trying to think of the word, like pandemic or not really pandemic, but man. Like a huge just one huge opportunity to the next without losing enthusiasm. There's
Mhm.
always going to be a fire, there's always going to be a problem. They come up daily. A huge one comes up every couple of years, but you just notice in the mid or just pay attention in the midst of all that. You just keep pushing forward and you don't lose enthusiasm and you just know, hey, this is part of the game. Things are
Mhm.
going to come up. A curveball is going to get thrown at me every day and I'm gonna have to deal with it. And nowadays, I just expect it. I wait for it. I love it when they come because I know in the middle of all that, I'm getting better, we're
Mhm.
getting better, and everything gets better with those opportunities.
Absolutely. Yeah, you don't really see Matt sweat that often, or he hides it well
I
because
just hide
anything
it.
that comes
Yeah,
up, it's
I
like,
just hide it.
okay, we'll figure it out. And I
Yeah,
think it's important to have the right teammates too, around
yeah,
you and
absolutely.
working and keeping each other going
Hmm.
and focused. But yeah, that's something I would say you have mastered for sure. I would agree with that.
I work on it. I wouldn't say I mastered it, but I'm better than I was yesterday.
There you go. That's what
Yeah,
matters.
yeah.
Good. So, speaking of, I guess, kind of along the same lines, what would, if you could share maybe one lesson that ADR has taught you that you think that you probably couldn't have learned anywhere else?
Oh man, there's so many. ADR's taught me a lot about leadership. Um, I always wanted to be a leader and always wanted to be a good leader. And it was something I always dreamed about. And I had my opportunities here and there, like small tastes of leadership. But I think this was one of the first opportunities I got. And what I learned is if people can spend time with you, and when they spend time with you, their lives get better,
Mm,
that's what makes you a good leader. So what I've learned is just trying to make the lives of the people better around me.
mhm.
And it makes my life better. It makes their lives better. It makes ADR better. It makes our families better. It makes our communities better. So that's the main thing I learned, just to
Absolutely.
try to help everyone around me
Mhm.
get better.
Yes. Yes. And you promote that well too. You're very open and offering and my door's open, personally, professionally, always there for everybody. That's a
Yeah,
great
thank
trait to
you.
have.
Thank you.
Um, so we'll wrap up this part with what's something you're proud of at ADR that most people wouldn't hear about or that might not make a press release, but you would
Ooh.
love for it to if given the opportunity.
There's so many things I'm proud about. The main thing is, and I don't know, maybe this would make a press release, but maybe internally, um, I'm really proud of how everyone responded when we had the hacker incident.
Mm,
And we had one, I don't know, for not everyone's been around as long, but a couple of years before we had another huge incident that had to do with some of our credit card processors, but the response in that as well. Um, and especially this last one, because this last one was even bigger. A lot of people would have packed up and went home.
mm.
There was a lot of hard work that went into that turnaround. And I wouldn't say we're out of the woods yet, but we're in a much better situation. And I'm just proud of the way everybody responded. Everybody stepped up. Everybody, all across ADR, everyone focused on what they could control and just continue to make everything better every day. And I think now we're in a way better position than we would have been had that never happened. So I'm just proud of the outcome of all the tough situations that we've been through and how the team responds.
Very good. Likewise, I'm very proud of it as well, and you're definitely helped spearhead that and put in all the extra hours and
Yeah.
days and thoughts and research and everything to get us
Hmm.
back on track. So kudos to you for that as well. Great,
Yeah.
fantastic leadership for
Yeah,
sure.
and everybody here. It was a collective group effort. Everybody did a fantastic job. And when we're talking about what we're proud of, I'm proud of all of you,
Ah,
every single one of you.
yes, me
Yeah,
too. Awesome. Yeah, so that happened for us, right? Not to us. We
absolutely.
keep that mindset going.
Absolutely. Hmm.
Wonderful. So next up, we're going to switch gears a little bit into more of our classy stage of the podcast, kind of talk about faith leadership and impact and depth. So we will talk about that next.
Thank you.
All right, Matt. So we do know, faith is a huge part of your life, and
Mm,
whether that's in business, personally, God, everything, revolves around it. Commend you for that. What would you say, um, what role has faith played in how you make decisions here at ADR, especially if you don't have all the answers
Oof.
when you have to make that decision?
Yeah. The best time is when you don't have all the answers because when when you don't have anything to lean on but God, what I've learned is those are can be some of the best times in life when you can just give it all up and give it all to God and just be able to trust and know that it's going to work out. And especially when you can hear God speaking to you and say, "Hey, it's going to be okay." Um, so those are some of the best situations, and they're always hard when you're in them, and they hurt and they're painful. Um, but we've all been assigned suffering, and that's a part of life, unfortunately. But beauty comes from it because in those moments, that's when we all always get closer to God.
Mhm. Absolutely. Beautiful answer. Thank you. A lot of reflection there. I can take
Yeah.
away from that too. Um, and you're right. Those are painful moments, and you got to have
And
your faith. So,
and if you go too long from those, so in those painful moments, you learn to rely on God and things get better. And sometimes you move away from that. It's just human nature, I think.
mm-hmm.
And then you just end up right back there. So the best thing is just continue to lean on God, and then you don't end up in those situations where you have to. So I
Mm,
do my best to just recenter every day, every morning, and like, okay, back to God.
perfect. Beautiful advice. So I know of some already, but I'll let you pick
Yeah.
one. What would you say a sacrifice you'd want to share that you made early in your career that shaped your mindset or even just how far you've come today?
Man, I've made a lot of sacrifices. Everything's a sacrifice in life. You get up early, there's a sacrifice. You sleep in, you sacrifice something. Um, it's all been worth it. And to accomplish anything, you have to give something up. Um, I mean, I think the main one that I'm proud of, and I know, I think I know the one that you're talking about because it came up recently, but I've never taking a day off. That was my main sacrifice. I took vacation days, but I think for the first 5 to 7 years, I never did. And even with vacation days, I always made sure everything that I had to get done got done.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always been important to me because every moment that we're at work is a sacrifice away from our family. So if we're going to be there, we might as well work hard and make it count. So
Mm-hmm.
my whole thing is the time I'm away from my family and I'm here with ADR, I want to make it count. And in everything I do, it's important to me that it has an impact on everybody here. Otherwise, it's not worth the sacrifice. So
Mm-hmm.
I just always want things to have a huge impact. That way I can know it's worth it. So that's what I focus on with those sacrifices. But the answer to your question is everything's a sacrifice, but it's
Mm-hmm.
worth it.
Yes.
But I can talk about the one that you were.
I
Yeah,
know completely. Whatever this is
it's cool.
all you.
Yeah, yeah,
Whatever you feel. I mean, that's absolutely right. Not taking time off is
yeah.
a huge one, and I hope you can now when you take
Yeah, I
days.
do now. I do
It's
now, but it's always
important.
planned. But on days
Yeah.
that, I come to work, whether I feel like it or not, everything gets done. And
Hmm.
that's important to me. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying I'm proud of it. That's what I set
Yeah.
out to do,
Yes.
and
Yes.
I accomplished it, and the sacrifice was worth it because I
Yes.
learned a lot along the way.
Perfect. Even now, taking time off, we work so much, we can see everything on our phones too. So even when you are away,
Yeah,
it's like tempting or hard not to sometimes. But
yeah,
yeah, that's incredible. And you built an amazing team prior to our merge and everything.
yeah,
So I can see how that paid off for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Um, so again, kind of along those lines, how would you say your definition of working hard has evolved as you've grown as
Mm.
leader?
Wow, that's a good one too. All these are good ones. I learned the hard way that I can only grind so hard by myself. I hit a wall probably, I don't know, 2016, 2017,
Mm,
where I feel like at the time my stress level was like really high. Um, and I had to learn how to delegate and get help.
it's hard.
For the longest time, it wasn't that I didn't want to get help, but I didn't want to give anybody any of the things that I felt were difficult because I wanted to make sure I took care of that, kind of like to shield people from it. But I learned, hey, if we're gonna grow as a company, I can't do that. And
Hmm.
also, while I'm doing that, I'm shielding other people from opportunity. I'm
Right.
trying to shield them from the work, when really I was shielding them from the opportunity. So I think I forgot the question, but I think I
That's
did that a couple of
okay.
times.
That's quite all
But
right.
yeah,
Just your
just
definition of working hard and how it evolved as you're
yeah,
going.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I at first it was like, all right, how much can I get done? How many calls can I take? And I think that's all a good part of it, and that's all a big part of my work too. But it's like, how can I leverage things? How
Mhm.
can I get tools and leverage them? How can I build teams and leverage those and create systems and processes that can do more than I could ever imagine
Right.
um, on my own, and just leverage all the people we have, all the tools we have, and that's really my definition of working hard now and just
Mhm.
being better than I was yesterday. It's always important that, hey, when I come back in tomorrow or next week, I'm better than I was before.
Mhm. Absolutely. Yes. Going from doing all the work or majority to delegating and, like you said, providing opportunity is a very hard shift
It's
for a lot
hard.
of
It
people.
it seems like it would be easy, but it's
Mhm.
really hard, especially if you are a workaholic like I am or was.
Yeah.
It's so hard to hand things off. It seems easy, but it's tough.
It's not. It's
Yeah.
definitely not. Well, that's amazing that you've worked on that and been able to transition more into that style of leadership too. So
Yeah.
very good. What would you say? This is kind of random, but as you know, leadership eyes down, what's a metric or something that you personally care about that doesn't show up on our dashboard?
Man, the things with the culture, when those culture surveys come in and you see how people feel,
Hmm.
um, and when I hear how things have blessed other people's families,
Hmm.
like when people say, "Hey, I've heard this so many times, like, ADR changed my life, or I was here and now I'm there." Because for me, and I know it's the same for all of our leaders, that's why we got into this was to change people's lives.
Yes.
It wasn't to make a living. If it was just to make a living, then maybe we would be doing something else. I don't know. But it's really important that we affect people's lives for the better, both personally, professionally. When I hear people say that certain things that we worked on or certain things that happened, like had a positive impact on their family,
Hmm.
like a lot of times that brings tears to my eyes, and that's when I'm like, oh, it was worth it. Because sometimes you work so hard and you're just like, hey, I just want it to be worth it. And when you hear that, I was like, yes, it was worth it.
Hmm. Absolutely. That's yes, there's nothing more touching than that. And if we just wanted to rent dumpsters, we would probably sound like the other companies who are answering the phones, rough around the edges and not building and growing our people and all the things that we put a lot of time and effort into. So that kind of leads me into the last question of this section here. But what kind of impact do you hope you're leaving on the people who you work with,
Mhm.
um, alongside with, or for you?
I mean, personally, I'm hoping to have a huge impact. Professionally, for sure. Personally, um, I think it's always important to have mentors. And the beautiful thing about the age we live in is we can have mentors that we don't even know,
Hmm.
because we can learn so much from other people. And I've always been a huge sports fan. I'm not as much now. I'm not able to dive into it as much, but Tony Dungy was a coach in the NFL, and I read a few of his books early on in my career, and he was always talking about how he wanted to impact the families of the players on his team. And I love that. And I was like, that's who I want to be.
Mm.
So I took that from him and I adopted it, and I'm like, hey, that's part of who I am.
Mm.
So I always want to have a huge impact on everybody's family because business is important. But at the end of the day, we're in business to have an effect and an impact on our families.
Yeah.
So I really want to have a huge impact on everyone's family, their sphere of influence, and everything that surrounds them. That's my goal. It's tough and it seems like a huge hill to climb sometimes. But like I said, it's just, hey, one little piece at a time and just work on it in small doses and just leave the rest to God.
Absolutely. And we know you've done that successfully.
Yeah.
We've gotten a lot of
Thank you.
feedback from people who,
Thank you.
just thank you, are grateful for you, your mentorship, your conversations about relationships, all the things that you do to help support and do have that impact on everyone.
Thank you.
So that's
Love that.
amazing. Very good. Well, next up, we're gonna switch gears one more time, a little bit sassy, a little bit more fun, like quick rapid fire questions. So we will be back with that section
Yeah.
next.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to put you on the spot here, Matt.
Yeah. Getting
Who would
hot.
you say?
Getting
Yeah.
hot. Sweating.
You're going to pull someone else in here real quick to this answer. So, in your opinion, who on the team for you brings the best energy every day? What they do to make them stand out for you?
Man, the best energy every day. I really, and I tell her this a lot. I, for some reason, I'm getting choked up even saying it. I really admire how Erica can do everything with a smile.
Mm.
Um, I try to, and I find myself like starting and then I fall off.
Mm.
But then I remember how Erica does everything with a smile, and man,
Oh.
um, that's so impactful to me because I see that, like I was saying with Tony, like I want that. Let me grab that. So I'm trying to grab that from
Grab
her.
a
I mean, like
smile.
I want
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
And I know I'm trying, but I will. I'm working on it, so I'm getting better.
Yes.
But yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Smile and a giggle. She's known for that for
Yeah.
sure.
And
Yes.
there's so many different ways I could have gone with that. And I mean, if you would have asked me it ahead of time, I wouldn't even thought I would have answered it that way. Like if I would have
Yeah.
planned, but that was just the for like bam.
Yes.
I admire that beyond belief. Doesn't
Nice.
matter what happens, smile. And I
Mm-hmm.
know behind the scenes it's probably not always like that, but I love it's not just a smile, but it feels genuine. Not saying it's
Mm-hmm.
not, but
Yeah, no,
it's hard.
absolutely.
It's hard. I know you can't always be happy, and I always try to not focus on whether or not I'm happy because it doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
Because feelings is I try not to focus on feelings because you're not
Yes.
going to be happy, but I try to be joyful. And I guess
Yes.
that's what I'm saying is you can always feel the joy from her, and I,
Mm-hmm.
I admire that, and that's inspirational to me.
1000% agree. Absolutely. That's touching. I love that. So what's something about ADR's culture that you're really proud of that people probably wouldn't expect, especially from our like a remote company?
Oh, proud of the culture. Again, I'm just proud of how it impacts people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
I think the people that come in and really put forth their best effort, it's changed so many lives. I mean, I see me, I'm one, and I don't want to name any names now, but there's so many people who've just told me, "Hey, this changed my life," and I've seen it, and that's just the thing about the culture I love. I think we all love. So,
Yes. And again, with being remote, it's pretty incredible how
y-
much, of an impact and how much of a
yeah,
spotlight it has on it from
yeah.
being in person.
And with you spearheading that, I admire that because you see people outside a lot of times will say, "Yeah, we can't do it remote." And
Mhm.
I think we could have said that, but I think we say, "Hey, we're going to figure it out. There has to be a way." And of course, there's lots of things that we can do to get better. We know that there's so many things we can do to get better, but we get better every day. And what we're doing right now is, I think, pretty impressive.
Absolutely. So what's a small win for ADR at work, your daily grind, whatever it is that never gets old to you?
Oh, a small win that never gets old. Uh, I like it when people send me messages about their accomplishments. I love that. Just like the little,
That
I
too.
love the little small things. I love it when people say it about other people, but I love it when people send me about like, hey, look what I was able to do. You know what I mean? Because I remember
Mhm.
doing the same thing and like sending messages like, hey, look what I did today.
Yeah.
And I love seeing those and just I probably don't my response probably isn't always they probably don't see it be like, oh, Matt really loves that, but I do. I'm just not good at responding and for things like that, but I love seeing it. Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. I would agree with that. I love that too. And I love that, they feel confident and
Yeah.
safe and excited to share it, whether it's directly with you or in a group setting, to see people come out of their shells and pat themselves on the back a little bit of
Yeah. You could tell they're
self-flowers. I
proud of
love that.
it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, you can
awesome.
tell they're proud of it and it's building their self-confidence and building self-confidence is hard. It's a lifelong journey and I think that is just part of building self-confidence is being able to celebrate the things that you do.
Yes,
As
it
hard as
really
it can
does
be
here.
sometimes.
Absolutely. All right, we're gonna do a quick few rapid fires. So just your this or that answer here. I think I know the answer for you for most of them. Getting to know you, but
Yeah.
we're gonna go. All right. So first one, morning routine or wing
Oh, morning routine. I
it?
could I couldn't live any other way.
Motivation or discipline?
Discipline. Motivation doesn't even exist for me.
Teach or learn?
Oof. I feel like I'm a way better learner. I would love to say teach. I've got a lot of work to go there. Thankfully, there's a lot of good teachers around us here. So learner, but I want to say teach soon. So,
Move into the
yeah.
teach side. Got it. Big vision or small daily wins?
Oh man. The you gotta have the small daily wins, but you gotta have the vision. Whoever holds the vision in their mind the longest is the one who wins.
Gotcha. What keeps you grounded?
My family and the Lord.
What's one habit that's changed your life?
Oh man, there's so many. Morning routine. I
Morning.
come up with some of the best, like I go to my morning routine just to get ready for the day and to build my confidence a little bit. And then, man, I just come up with some of the best ideas and things, not always work related. It can be just about reaching out to someone, but things just pop in my mind. It's just
Mm,
like bam, bam, bam. And it doesn't happen any other time of the day like that, only the morning.
mm. Very nice. Best advice you've ever received?
My dad used to always tell me, there's nothing more valuable than just being able to lay your head on the pillow at night and um, be confident and proud of how the day went.
Mhm.
You know, he worded it another way. It's escaping me right now, but just not second guessing anything. So when I lay my head down on the pillow at night, I just want to know, hey, I gave it my all. I'm not sitting there thinking, what could I have done? Could I have done this better? And just know that, hey, I gave it everything I had. That's the best feeling in the world.
That is, that's awesome. I love that. I'm gonna take that.
Yeah.
Thank you to your dad for that.
Yeah.
All right. My last question for you today, Matt O'Hara. What is something happening at ADR right now that genuinely excites you about where we're going?
Oh man, there's so much. I think adding a CFO just recently and really looking at the numbers and be able to make more data-based decisions, that really excites me. The growth and I see there's gotta be a lot of growth in the Ben's team, and the sales team. I think all the automation we can add, it's just everywhere. All across the company. It's just so much exciting going on, and we've got so far to go, and there's so much in store for everybody here. And I'm just excited for it all to come to full fruition for
Why
everyone.
does that matter so much to you personally, would you say?
Ooh, um, because that's why I got into this is because I just wanted to have an impact on everyone. I wanted to be able to help everyone grow financially. That was always for a long time was a struggle for me growing up. And then I got to a point where I was like, all right, I think I figured this thing out, and then I just wanted to be able to show everyone else that anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. And that's why it matters so much. I just want to be able to help everybody do it. Anybody can succeed, and we're here to help make that happen for anybody that wants it. That's why it's important to me.
And on that note, I want to thank you so much
Yeah.
for joining. Thank you for your time, your
Thank you. Thank you.
transparency, openness, advice, feedback, everything that you offer, not just here in this podcast session, but on a daily basis. We appreciate you. We love you.
Thank you.
And let's keep on keeping on.
Yeah,
Grow
thank
this
you.
thing
Last
bigger and
thing,
better.
ADR. Love y'all. Thank you.
Yes.
All
Thank
right.
you.
All right. Thanks, Rebecca.
And that is a wrap on today's ADR moment. Thank you again to Matt O'Hara, our amazing COO. Thank you all for watching and being part of our journey. It genuinely means the world to us. As you all know, we truly are passionate about ADR. It's not just what we do, it's something we're building #together. And having you all here makes it that much more special. If you enjoyed it, definitely stick around. We have got more to come, and I can't wait to share it with you all. So until next time, keep smiling, keep grinding, and let your light keep shining.